Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
We back. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Happy December to y'all. 2024 is literally around the corner. If that, it actually may be pulling up. Good to see y'all, fellas.
What's up, man? And tomorrow's going to be an ice cold day. Shout out to them brothers. December 4th, you know what I'm saying? Got to rock the hat.
That time.
Respect.
What they do, Ryan?
What's good, Ryan?
Dog hit the lottery last night, man.
I know, right? I'm trying to get like you, bro. Like,
even about a whole new laptop, I'm gonna have us all on different laptops and shit. Like, this ain't even came out yet.
Look, he can afford a Sunday ticket now. Like, I got it.
I mean, season almost over. They didn't drop the price anyway. So, hey, I should have laid off with this. I would have bought it then.
Hey, Ryan, if you kind of pull up to Vegas, let me know.
That jump went from 400 to 87. I'm like, bro, y'all should have led with the 87. I would have had that joint on my YouTube TV.
Which is why you wait till mid-season.
No, it's towards the end of the season, though. I don't want it now.
Right, it's like 4 weeks left.
Yeah,
5 weeks.
Ryan gonna pull up to the in-season tournament in Vegas. That's what I know.
Say he can get in bed league pass right now.
Exactly.
He
already got it. So hey, that's why I buy the most expensive version of 2K just for League Pass. It's like I'm paying for League Pass for the year, and I get 2K as a consolation prize. So hey,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, too, he can get some stock into the Dallas Mavericks new ownership group
and the Packers.
That's the way, man. We trying to get rich out here, man. But as always, y'all know to support us and other podcasts on the network. LBR Media, of course. This is Let's Be Real Sports Podcast. Support the other podcasts, Street Harder Way, and the Gene Support. And LBR Gaming with Trevor himself at Simply Trevor LBR on YouTube, as well as follow us on Twix. As you know, it's Twitter or X, whichever one you prefer to call it. We call it Twix over here. IG, Facebook, and TikTok at LBR_media. Subscribe and watch on YouTube or at Let's Be Real Media. And if you want to listen on regular audio platforms, you can listen to us at Let's Be Real Sports on any audio podcasting platform. But before we get started with our topics, first listen to a word from our sponsor from SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. When you use our code LBR Media, you will get $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek scores each ticket selection 0 to 10 to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Click the link in the description to download the app, and remember our code LBR Media for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek, your route to high quality ticket selection. Yes. If you still, it ain't too late to go to the NFL game. Go on, use that code. LBR Media to get some money off on your tickets. But without further ado, main entree, we have 2 of them today. First up, if you ain't been sitting under a rock, college football playoff. Had a lot of the committee members had a lot to discuss this morning over these past 24 hours after these championship games. But the final decision they came up with was Michigan number 1, Washington number 2, which are probably too obvious after Washington won the conference championship Friday and Michigan won on Saturday after beating Ohio State last week. Sorry to our 5th member Giddey, losing to Michigan for 3rd straight year, but Michigan back in there. 3-4, they had some decisions to make after Alabama upset Georgia. Texas beat Alabama earlier this season. So it was kind of Texas wanted to be to a championship yesterday. Both them and Alabama had the same record. So 3-4 was Texas and Alabama with an undefeated Florida State, who lost their starting quarterback a couple of weeks ago in Jordan Travis, and ACC champions at number 5. and Georgia number 6, Ohio State number 7, and so forth and so forth. What are y'all final thoughts about what the committee members came up with? Let's start with the Texas fan himself, and Tuke, then go down the scale and Trevor.
Definitely. I'm gonna definitely let y'all have this segment because I do refer to y'all when we do talk about college football. But I definitely remember, 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, when the Longhorns hired Steve Sarkisian. I asked you guys about him, and if we were going to be a better team, because I'm not going to keep watching Longhorns. The little football I did watch, I'm not going to watch mediocrity. And 3 years later, here we are, top 4 team, about to compete in the for national championship if we win. So I'm happy, shout out to him. I do think FSU was screwed. Mike Norvell did a hell of a job there, and I'm pretty sure y'all gonna talk a lot about them. But salute to Longhorn Nation. Let's go win the championship.
Yeah, definitely excited to see new teams get into the playoff. It's good to see teams like Washington make it. It's good to see teams like Texas make it, just because it's been quite some time. I know there's sometimes there's conversation of seeing the same teams in there, right? It's we always see the Alabamas, at one point, well, I won't say as of lately Ohio State, but you typically see the Georgias, the Alabamas. I'm missing on one more of the team, but it's good to see people. It's good to see colleges and programs like Texas and Washington get in. So I definitely do think that FSU got screwed. Big Mike Norvell fan. I think we all are, from the times of where he was here in Memphis, and I think after seeing kind of him coach and see the relationship that he built with his players at Memphis, I knew that once he left that he was going to get Florida State up and running. So it's good to see them there. Did they get
real quick, because I'm kind of privy, like I kind of do want to know, how do you think, and y'all can answer to, FSU got screwed? Because I do see a lot of that going around. I definitely want to get in y'all heads about how y'all think they got screwed.
Yeah, I think they only got they got screwed in terms of they had an undefeated record. Normally in college football, when you go undefeated, there's a chance for you to win the national championship. There's a chance for you to be called the national championship or national championship team of the country. And when you go undefeated, when you do exactly what you're supposed to do, which is line up a schedule and you beat every team on that schedule, and when you don't have an opportunity to play for the Natty, then you get screwed. But the asterisk that comes with that is, at the end of the day, NCAA, the NBA, the NFL is all about selling tickets. It's all about viewership. And at the end of the day, where Florida State has probably one of the better defenses in the country, where they have an upper rising coach as Mike Norvell, and their quarterback gets hurt, and they were down to their second or third string quarterback at the end of the season. At the end of the day, people just don't want to see that. As much as we complain about Florida State got screwed, and go ahead, Sharky.
Yeah, I want to add on to that. So, and I saw Ryan, and you can kind of compare Ohio State when they won that championship. I want to say the first college football playoff or second one. You remember they went down their third string quarterback. Cardale Jones had to come in, and they ended up winning that championship with their third string quarterback. The difference, though, is Ohio State dominated the Big Ten championship 59-0. Florida State last 2 wins were very shaky.
And that's great. And that's exactly what I was going to get to. At the end of the day, as much as it's hard to do, just to your point, Sharky, Florida State was down to their second and third string quarterback the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, and you didn't perform to the level that said you passed the eye test. That's part of it. Like, a lot of it is, who do you play, when do you play them, where you play that, and then I want my eyes to see who's the best 4. Now, granted, Florida State can be part of it, and maybe they are of the better 4 in the country. When they have I think it's Travis. That's not Travis.
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And so when you lose him, and knowing that they want to sell viewerships, they want to get as many people to watch those games, those 2 games in particular, as much as possible. People are going to, at the end of the day, watching a full healthy Alabama team and Jalen Hurts, which is considering how he performed the back half of the season, people are going to want to see that versus a team in Florida State. Well, I mean, you beat them, but you struggle to beat Louisville. You struggle to beat these other teams. You struggle to beat Florida. People just don't want to see that, right? And so, again, as much as Florida State got screwed, and as much as we want to say they should be a part of it, But when we see Alabama and Michigan get ready to line up or get ready to play each other in less than 30 days, ain't gonna even be a topic of conversation. So that's why I feel like the committee put Alabama there, is because they had probably the better strength of schedule. But then you beat Georgia, who was pretty much the consensus number one throughout the majority of the year. You beat them on a neutral site. I think they beat Ole Miss. They beat Tennessee. They beat a couple other teams. They beat at least 3 or 4 teams in the top 25. So I think all of that encompassed enough for them to say, let's put Alabama at 4 instead of Florida State.
And for those last few reasons that Skylar mentioned is why I'm the outlier of here, and I think that the committee got it right. Alabama had the better strength of schedule. They had better quality wins. They had beaten Georgia, who hadn't lost a game in, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years, because they were on a 20-game winning streak. The last time Georgia lost was to Alabama in the, if I'm not mistaken, in the national championship. It really does suck for Florida State. I mean, I do felt that they deserved a shot because, to Skylar's point, not only did they not go undefeated, they went undefeated in a quote-unquote Power 5 conference, which normally, if you do that in a P5 conference, you at least get some consideration for a national championship. And the reason that a lot of people didn't put them in there, the committee says it was because of how the team looked, which is true, because they looked a little shaky down the stretch to close out the season. And they were definitely going to be looking shaky in the college football playoff. Let's not remember what happened last year, just last season, with TCU and Georgia, because we had a similar situation last year, and Georgia just completely mopped the field with TCU for the entire game. And viewers don't want to see that anymore this year. So, in my theory, I think that Alabama deserved to get in. They won the SEC. You don't need an SEC champ out of there. Like, it's just simple. They literally ran through the SEC. They were undefeated in conference play, on top of beating Georgia, who was the consensus number 1 all season. You just can't ignore that, unfortunately. And again, it sucks for Florida State, and it sucks for Mike Norvell, because now their consolation prize, they're finna play a pissed off Georgia team in the Orange Bowl, and I can tell you right now, it's going to be similar to Georgia TCU, because Georgia's pissed, and they probably going to mount the floor with Florida State. I'm sorry, but yeah, the committee got it right in this one. I wish this is just more of a reason why the expansion should happen, and they've already said the expansion is not happening anytime soon. So we're about to get more of this down the line until we finally push for it, just like we push for the college football playoff to get moved up, to finally be put in place. We as fans need to start pushing for expansion to get it moved up.
Go ahead, the expansion happens next year. It goes to 12 teams next year.
Oh, it's legit. Okay, I thought they were talking about they wasn't talking about expansion. Okay, so I stand corrected. So
they I think it was next year that they passed it, but yeah, it starts next year. It's 12 teams next year.
Say less. So we in there. So
probably should start a year earlier.
Yeah, I would definitely should have started a year earlier, but hey, as long as we have it now, then we're good.
Yep. And this is one of them years where we really hadn't had any year like this, where it's like legit 1 through 7. You could argue Georgia and Ohio State, including them, and you could argue any of these teams in the top 4. And you haven't had that this you had like 1 through, you had 4 and 5, maybe 6 been in discussion, but like legit 7 teams that could have been in. This is like a rarity, and this is last year that we had to worry about this. But my quick thoughts, 2 things can be true. I think Florida State did get screwed because they earned the opportunity, because they did even play 2 SEC teams outside ACC play. They beat LSU first game of the season. They beat Florida at Florida. Like, no matter how ugly it was, they beat them, right? But also, we did see TCU Georgia in that championship last year. Florida looked like they was heading on that trajectory of being the TCU to a Michigan or Alabama or whoever else they had to play in the college football playoff. Unfortunately, that's how it worked. And when you have humans having to put into the 4 best teams, and my whole thing about this whole argument about the best teams and all that, and the Texas versus Alabama argument, how Alabama's got better since then. Texas has got better since that game. Alabama probably should have lost to Auburn, right? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but they got very lucky when they got just last week. 100%. So we about to act like we got amnesia and this stuff that just happened. But they touched around beat Georgia, right? So all these different arguments, that's why I don't try to get into all that. my whole thing was Texas had better have been there if Alabama was in it because they beat Alabama at Alabama this season. I don't care how early it was in the season. If that's the case, schedules don't matter. So they corrected that and made sure that happened. Luckily, Florida State probably getting screwed regardless. If Georgia won yesterday, it would have been Texas versus Florida State. Who they chose. Or they made Snoke Ohio State in there. Right.
Right.
Either way, it was FSU was heading towards this when George Travis got hurt. Man, it's unfortunate. Unfortunately for Mike Norvell, he left Memphis to go to the Power 5 to have a chance to win the national championship. And got screwed, literally. But hey, like Skylar said, 30 days from now, when we actually see these games, Alabama versus Michigan is going to be probably a much better game than it would have been if it was Florida State versus Michigan. That's the truth. We're gonna forget it. I ain't gonna say forget about it, but we're gonna move on from it. And next year it's gonna be 12 teams. And I'm sorry, I ain't arguing about who is best between 12 and 13 best team.
No, for real.
No, take care of your business during the season. Win your conference championship. You should be in that 12. It's just that. It's just as simple as that.
Now you know the trolls gonna be out there. You know the troll. Oh, how did he miss the playoffs?
Bro, I'm not arguing with anybody that said, "Oh, the fourth best SEC team should be." Like, bro, I'm not trying.
Nah, bro.
Like,
nah, bro.
This year, I'm standing down.
Take care of business during the season. Win your conference championship, or at the very least, reach your conference championship if you play one, and you should be all right.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of. I would have rather it go to 8 and stay at 8 because I feel like the college football season isn't as long as extensive as a NFL season. When you only got 12, 13 games, that really starts to dilute what's like your schedule, right? Because you could take a loss 2 or 3 and still get in. So I just felt like they should have kept it at 8. There's more drama that comes with 8 or maybe 9 to 10 teams and who should be in versus, and the ranking of those versus 12, 13, 14, 15 teams. Like, I don't care about, to your point, Shark, I don't care about the 14th best school in the country, unless it's Memphis, right? But more because right now it ain't looking that way. Then right now, as a casual fan of college football, I don't care.
Which the group of 5 will have a spot in that 12-team playoff. So they can understand this now. Oklahoma is 12. Oklahoma would miss out because they were subbing for Liberty. It's 23. So Liberty would have been the group of 5 team. It's number 12. So people would have been arguing next year, hypothetically.
They've been arguing for Oklahoma over Liberty, and I ain't got time for all of that.
Liberty.
Oh man, all right, safe. And the argument about who should make it between Ole Miss or the Sooners. Yeah, Ole Miss.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, LSU 13. Like, okay, cool. Like, I don't get Jaden Daniels probably gonna win the Heisman. All right, well, I guess that's another quick topic, especially with Scott and Trevor. Who should win the Heisman? Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, or Michael Penix? I think that'll be the 3.
Oh, sheesh.
I think Jaden Daniels will win it.
I honestly think it should be Jaden Daniels as well. I mean, if you look at his numbers, what he's done during the season, they rival what Joe Burrow did at LSU, even though
they do.
Most of Jaden Daniels' stats, most of his stats is coming from his total yardage is coming from the ground. But he's done an amazing job of just keeping things afloat at LSU. I tip my hat to Bo Nix for his 16th year in college football because Jesus Christ, every time you look up, that man is still playing college football.
Yeah, at least he got better.
He did. I will say this: looking at him at Oregon versus when he was at Auburn, it is definitely night and day. I will definitely give Bo Nix that. I'll tip my hat to him for that. But if I had to pick one, it'll be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it should be Jaden Daniels. I just would like. Yeah, I think there should be a really good case for Penix, though. I think as much as I consider stats and how important you are to your team, I think winning is a part of that. Granted, as a quarterback, you're not totally responsible for wins and losses, but you have a huge piece of the pie when it comes to that. And so with Jaden Daniels not being anywhere near the top 4 or 5 teams in the country, and Michael Penix is, I would want to give him the nod for that particular reason. But if we're going to give the Heisman to Joe Burrow when we did based off his numbers, and you look at it to what Trevor just said, if you go look at Daniel's numbers, he actually has better numbers than Joe Burrow. So like you kind of got to give him to him for that. So I think go Daniels in that situation.
Yeah, Joe Burrow broke records. So Jane Daniels double spilled to him. That means he breaking records. And to that point, I've seen I know 3 examples off the top of the head. Lamar Jackson won Heisman. Louisville had 3 losses. Tim Tebow won Heisman. Florida had 3 losses. And RG3 won Heisman. And Baylor had 3 losses. So LSU have 3 losses. I've seen 3 quarterbacks win Heisman because they were the best players throughout the season. So to your point, winning still matters because LSU still finished ranked with top 13. It ain't like they was sorry. It ain't like they was 4-8. They still finished like 9-3. So they just won.
So basically, they would have been in the 12-team playoff, right?
They actually would have missed out. They low key probably would have put them in there for that reason, though.
They would have put them in.
They actually would have. I can't wait for next year, bro. That's gonna be some funny stuff. Only for the top 3 teams to have the best chance of actually winning. But on from the not cool at all league to the no fun league. So NCAA to NFL. Shout out to Tuke for his acronym definitions right there. We're getting close to that playoff time, right? Gaudies, mediocre to sorry teams. That's included all our teams.
I'm sorry.
All our teams on here. I ain't about to mention our names for our teams. We're going to talk about the good teams, the actual top upper echelon teams. Top 5 Super Bowl contender rankings. Where's y'all top 5 on the teams y'all think has the best chance at winning the Super Bowl? We can actually do flip side, start Trevor, Scouter, then Tuke.
All right, top 5 Super Bowl contenders. Man, this is tough. Not that tough, but it's a little bit tough. I'm gonna go. I'll just get the number 1 team out of the way. I think the top is definitely the Philadelphia Eagles. Despite their recent struggles and things of that nature, they still look like the best team in football. It's not much to say about the Eagles. So I definitely have them at number 1. Number 2 would probably more than likely be their NFC Championship opponent, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of people have said, and I'll say it here, Brock Purdy probably has the easiest job in the world with all the weapons that he has around him, on top of that defense that just gotten better on the defensive line with them acquiring Chase Young via trade. Still have some questions about their secondary, and it's definitely going to come down between them and Philly to represent the NFC. And if it's in Philly, I definitely have the Philadelphia Eagles back in the Super Bowl. Number 3 on the list, you can't go against Patrick Mahomes. I'm just going to keep it to that. I know they can use another weapon in their wide receiver core, but their defense has been playing a whole lot better as of late. Big shout out to Steve Spagnuolo for that as well. Can't go against Pat there, so I'll definitely have the Chiefs at number 3. At number 4, and this is where it really gets tough, but at number 4, I will definitely go with the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is having yet another solid season. I think if everything broke right for them, with them winning the AFC North and get some favorable matchups, I could definitely see them representing the AFC. And I think that's a team that can potentially go into Kansas City if it came down to it and beat Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. So I got the Baltimore Ravens at number 4. And as much as it pains me to say this, my number 5 team is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has been playing some great football as of late as well. I think the whole deal about Dak Prescott and the whole interceptions thing has kind of faded to the side. He's looking like a decent quarterback, a really good quarterback. I got him on fantasy to show for it. The defense has been stellar, led by Michael Parsons. Of course, the Ron Bland, who's looking like the second coming of Dion, or even better than Dion, because he's leading the league in interceptions, and I believe he set the record for most pick sixes on Thanksgiving. I mean, my only thing about them, I don't see them being better than any of the 4 teams above them, but if things broke right for them, I really think they could represent the NFC, but I can't put them above those 4. And I'm still not sold on the Dolphins just yet. I can't put Miami in there just yet. If we were doing a top 10 and I went to number 6, then the Dolphins will be right there. But yeah, that will be my top 5 right now. Eagles, 49ers, Chiefs, Ravens, Cowboys.
Good five. I know we're supposed to do a power ranking based off of this season, but I'm putting this team at number 1 just because I've seen glimpses of them perform really well at a high level this season, but then past seasons too, and it's hard to ignore it. So I'm going to put Kansas City at 1 for that particular reason, but then also their defense is playing top notch, and that's not getting talked about. We're talking about their wide receivers dropping the ball. We always talk about all the Chiefs offense doesn't look as potent as what they're supposed to look like, But yet I still I feel like almost at any given moment, and granted, they have not shown that on a consistent level this year, but I feel like almost any time when you give Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes 2 weeks to prepare for you, he can score 30, 35, damn near 40 at any point. So again, understanding this is an exercise just for this season, I'm putting Kansas City at 1 because of what I've seen them do the past 3-4 years, but then also because their defense is playing at a much higher level than what it's probably ever been at with Patrick Mahomes led as the quarterback. So I'm putting them 1. I'm putting Philly at 2 just because I feel like Philadelphia is so diverse in how they can win. They can have moments where they look really mediocre, and then they can just say, you know what, let's flip the switch, and then we can run it up. And I feel like they did that against Buffalo. They've done it against Kansas City. I really trust Jalen Hurts at this point. So I'm going to go with Philly at 2. I'm going San Francisco at 3. San Francisco at 3 just for the simple fact that they are really good at the skill positions. They're really good at left tackle, of course, with Trent Williams. You got Brandon Ayuk, you got Deebo Samuel, you got C-Mac running the ball at running back, and then they are led by a really good forefront. Which, what makes really good teams in NFL is if you can rush forward and put everybody else in pass coverage, and I think that's what makes San Francisco so good. And so because of that, and I hear you, Trevor, regarding Brock Purdy, and he's only as good as the talent around him. I feel like you can kind of say that for damn near everybody. You can kind of say that for damn near every quarterback in the league, which you can be really, really good as long as your people are there or as long as your people are available. How many quarterbacks outside of, let's call it Pat Mahomes, let's call it maybe Jalen Hurts, which I don't even know if I want to put Jalen Hurts at that level because I haven't seen him do it. How many quarterbacks can consistently give you 275 yards a game, 300, and still perform at that high level when you don't have the key players right there available to them?
And
so because
low-key barely Mahomes, because this season
barely Mahomes.
Exactly, right? So I think you still got to give Brock Purdy his due. You got to give him the credit to say, yeah, maybe when Debo's not there, when Ayuk is there or not there, and when Troy Williams is not healthy, he doesn't play well, but that's a lot of quarterbacks. And I've seen Brock Purdy make some throws, and I'm like, shit, like that's high level. And I'm not sure if I've seen a couple other quarterbacks make that. So I'll put them at 3. I think I will put Baltimore. I'm fearful of putting Baltimore there because Mark Andrews is out, and I don't know. Lamar Jackson is a really good talent. I just don't know if when their defense decides to not show up, I don't know if their offense can carry them. The teams that I'm putting in front of them and even kind of behind them is I've seen these teams not do well here or there on a consistent basis, and then the other portion of their team kind of make up for that. So I think I'll put Cowboys at 4, and that's tough for me to say. I'll put Cowboys at 4. And then I'll put Miami at 5. I really like Miami's offense. Defense, not so much. They did get Jalen Ramsey back, but that's my 5.
Okay. It's not a bad 5.
Not bad at 5. Actually, we got pretty much the same well for 3 for sure. So my first one, I thought I was gonna be the only one to have the Chiefs up here at number 1. So salute to you on that one. But any team with a healthy Pat Mahomes and a healthy Travis Kelce, and you talked about that defense, they're averaging what, number 4 in yards allowed per game. So we're literally watching the Chiefs with the best defense that they've had since Patrick Mahomes been a Chief. That's they got to be number 1 for me. Number 2, of course, I got Philly. No Super Bowl hangover for them. Jalen Hurts doing this thing. Like I said, no Super Bowl hangover. People expected them to fall back, but when you got a team and the coaching staff that they do have, they pretty much writing the checks for themselves at this point. Let me see. Number 3, I got San Francisco. Of course, they were probably the best team in the NFC last year. If they would have had a legit quarterback, of course, they probably would have made the Super Bowl. So Brock Purdy coming in, they got their QB1. C-Mac's doing his thing. Coaching doing a hell of a job. Like, they legit, I think, are the best team in the NFC with Philly, and it's kind of like they're right there. So I'm really excited to watch this game tonight because they're actually tied for points per game with each other. So winner of this game is going to be, top 3 in points per game. So I'm looking forward to this matchup for sure. The Ravens, I got the Ravens are number 4 for the simple fact that the irony of, the traditional run the ball, high defense, heavy defense, the traditional way of winning is being held by Lamar Jackson. They got the number 1 rushing attack in the game, and they got the number 2 defense in the league by ESPN. So you talk about the ways to win. Of course, you're not, you're missing Mark Andrews, which is a great point. They're still putting up yards against him, and their way of winning is running the ball. And like Lamar Jackson, you're not going to stop him. So it's just, them finally putting it together. And hopefully you do get some kind of veteran Odell Beckham Jr. to step up when he needs to step up when it's time for him to step up. And number 5, I actually got the Detroit Lions. I've been high on them all season. I don't want to stop on that. Yeah, I gotta have a Detroit team. At least somebody doing what the hell they supposed to do in Detroit. Goddamn Pistons. But no, if you look at, honestly, we could talk about it outside of like Kansas City. Like, most of these teams are like running offenses anyway. So the Detroit Lions, who are number 2 in yards per game, number 3 in passing, and top 10 defense as well, they can do it all. Like, if you look at the Lions team, they really don't have any weaknesses, honestly. And even if you want to go experience, Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl, so I mean that's pretty experienced to me. So the Lions, shout out to them for putting it all together. If you would have asked me who I trust between them and the Cowboys, that's why I chose the Lions, because what's our commandment? Somebody to show you who you are. This year 20 for Dak, not really, but this year 20 for Dak, he done showed us 19 times what kind of player he is versus Jared Goff, who I rather trust with the ball in his hands.
Hey,
Okay.
like that. Oh Lord, why Ryan had troll you like that?
Ryan,
Hey, Ryan, get out of here, bro. Chill, bro. Don't spend all your money in one place. Damn.
I got a question on
Sure.
there too. But I'm gonna let
What's up, bro?
Sharky go before I have my question.
Okay. Oh boy, y'all made me think some more because I sure had a list out. And my initial list, I put it based on I thought how basically I was thinking about now, like how good the teams are at this current moment. Not thinking like right now this team is the best team to me at this current moment. I originally had the Baltimore Ravens number 1 because so far to me of all these teams, they look the most impressive. They have had some games that they blew. That's like how you blow that game, but overall, like their defense has just been like crazy good. And Lamar Jackson hasn't just had crazy stats, but he's been finding ways to win, and that's the key. We haven't seen him like win ugly before. It's always like, marvelous great stats to get the playoffs, then choke, right? But after listening to y'all, it just make me think forward, thinking like, okay, when we get to the playoffs, what team do I trust the most? I still ain't seen Lamar Jackson do it in the playoffs. So just like that, I drop him. Just like that, the Chiefs have all these receiver problems when it come down to it. And I know they haven't won Super Bowl back-to-back years yet. But each time I count against them, they win it. I ain't finna make a mistake. So thank y'all for reminding me to not to bet against the Chiefs. Chiefs number 1, my Super Bowl ranking contenders right now. Eagles number 2. The reason I had Eagles not even ahead of the Ravens because they've been winning, but it's been like, comeback win. It's like at some point, even now against them, we're recording while doing the 49ers game. They're down 14-6 at halftime. At some point, that's gonna come to bite them, right? it just feels like it is. I'm hoping they can still keep pulling it off. Maybe it's the year for them, but at some point, I feel like that's going to come back to bite them. But we'll see. They're still a very good team, but it seems like they're playing with fire a little too much. Just a little too much. After that, I had the 49ers. Like I said, we're recording during the game. This might be switched after this game. The 49ers beat them folks. So like that, we might be at the 49ers 2-3. So I might should just say that put some asterisks on that. They just might get flipped because they playing them in Philly. So you beat them at Philly. I got to jump you above Philly. So
I mean, but either way you look at it, though, not to cut you off, but if one of them were to lose, will that really defer how you feel about each team?
Low key, if they beat Philly at Philly, yeah. Especially the way Philly been playing these last couple weeks, that does change my opinion a lot. And I think both teams, you have two quarterbacks. They ain't, Mahomes has been there, done that. You have two quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts got the Super Bowl last year. Brock Purdy got the NFC Championship. Can they do it again? Right? You still got question marks on both sides on the quarterback on that end. And I really like Jalen Hurts, and I like Brock Purdy as well. So you still got a little question mark there. 4, this is where I placed the Ravens at. I dropped them to 4. Once again, like I said earlier, their defense look ready. But even looking at defensive rankings now, I'm saying the Ravens, they're number 2 behind the Browns, the Cowboys right behind the Ravens, the Chiefs right behind the Cowboys, 49ers right behind the Chiefs, the Dolphins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are number 6 in total yards giving up on defense. Surprising, because I guess it comes down to when your offense scores that many points, your defense is going to tend to give up points. So maybe the defense ain't as bad as we're thinking, especially with Jalen Ramsey back. But unfortunately, I don't have the Dolphins. I have the Cowboys at number 5. I think, and Tua has stayed healthy. Shout out to him for that. I haven't seen him play in the playoffs yet. I've seen Dak have Dak choked in the playoffs, sure, but he has playoff experience. He's won playoff games. So I'm gonna lean towards the player I've seen in the playoffs with experience over the player that I haven't seen in the playoffs. And that's why I picked Cowboys at 5 over the Dolphins. And Lions right after that. Lions, Jared Goff has made some Super Bowl and stuff, but their defense is by far the worst out of those teams. So just like that, I have the number, right outside top 5, right behind the Dolphins. The Dolphins 6, Lions 7. But yeah, my top 5: Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, Ravens, Cowboys.
That's interesting with the Dolphins.
Yeah,
like I was super, super high on them, but if you look at the teams that they actually lost against, which are the only teams with winning records, which are the Chiefs, Eagles, and Bills. So it's like in high pressure, how clutch are y'all gonna be to win a playoff game? Which is, of course, I couldn't put them in the top 5, even though of course I wanted to. Tyreek Hill finna win me this fantasy league. So, but fantasy and Super Bowl, 2 different things.
Yeah, that's go ahead, Skylar.
No, I think what Sharky says is a really good point, and it's not necessarily if maybe some of it is the Dolphins playing defense, quote unquote, but then because what Sharky just said, which is a good point, because their offense is so high level, what happens to the other team is the other team becomes they become one dimensional, and you have to pass. And when as a defense, I know that, then I can prepare for that. It's easy. It's much easier to play defense when I know you have to pass the ball. When I know you have to pass the ball, I can rush or I can come at you as many ways as I can, versus I don't know if it's going to be a pass or run on this next play. When the Dolphins can take a 80-yard, they can take a screen pass 80 yards within a matter of 6 seconds. Like that's hard to defend. And so I really like what Sharky said, because when an offense can do that, that just helps your defense that much more.
Yeah, I did have a question, but I'm gonna back off because Sharky kind of made my point in reference to the Lions about them having out of the teams that we've named having the worst defense. And to your point, to what you was talking about as far as the pressure of winning, that's how I feel about the Lions, because as of right now, they're the 2 seed in the playoff picture, which more if they're gonna have a home playoff game, and how much pressure is going to be on Detroit having a home playoff game, knowing their history, their playoff history, things of that nature. How much pressure is going to be on Detroit to actually get that win? And then who knows who they're probably either going to be facing the Vikings or someone of that nature that's towards the bottom of that playoff bracket. So, but yeah, good 5, everybody.
Yeah.
Also, I just peeped something. I may have been wrong, and this is based on yards per game. The Eagles actually have the worst defense out of these teams we just mentioned in yards given up.
They're in the middle. They're middle pack.
Oh, they
They're
middle
like
of the pack. Okay.
They're like 19. The Detroit Lions are 14, if I'm counting correctly, and Eagles are like
Okay.
18 or 19.
All right. But yeah, I still think
Right.
that pressure would be on Detroit to actually get that first win, especially because they're gonna be at home and things of that nature. As of right now, they get the Seahawks right now. I think that's a favorable matchup for them.
Yeah.
And they lost.
I
They lost
mean-
to Seattle.
And
this
they lost
season.
to the Seahawks early in the season, so that'll be some get
Yeah,
back.
that's right. Earlier season. Yeah,
At
right.
Detroit. It's into.
Yeah, it was
At
at
Detroit, yeah.
Detroit. I'll say it'll be some get back for them.
As in the only negate I'll say is like this is what you got a Super Bowl participant for. You know, it's for high pressure moments like this. But damn, you lost against the Seahawks at home, and that's gonna look like the matchup. So it's good point.
Which it must be nice to be in NFC. For I mean, I ain't talking to you two specifically, but I'm just thinking of the records.
Kick me while I'm down.
I really wasn't trying to. I was just thinking like compared to the AFC, like the Seahawks just lost like 3 in a row, and they're still in the playoffs in the AFC, right? So the AFC is very top heavy. Then after that, you know, you might get in the playoffs, maybe 8 and 9 potentially. Like the AFC South Division,
Dog. I saw a stat, not to talk about these sorry ass Panthers, but they said mathematically we can still make the playoffs.
Y'all
That's
really
disgusting.
can. That's what I'm saying.
It's disgusting.
Because y'all, let me see. Oh, Falcons won today. So you just got a team got back to 500 today. So
And trust and believe the
Yeah, trust
Falcons
and
will
believe.
hold that to the end of the year. You can book that. They not gonna hold that.
like the Rams were like 3 and like 2 and 6 or 2 and 5. Whatever their record was at some point. They only like a game out the playoffs. Like you got a chance over there. AFC is kind of a little more like
Hey, real talk. There is a chance y'all could literally win that giant at 7 and 10.
y'all got this interim
And get a
coach
home
coming
game.
in.
I got bamboozled, man.
And to Ryan's point, it is a lot of mid. Y'all could literally win the NFC South at 7 and 10 and somehow get a home.
I got bamboozled. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's possible.
man.
It is
It's-
possible.
Shout out to your division, man. Shout out to the NFC South.
Losing to the Buccaneers 7-3 right now. This
Oh man. But moving forward to our real talk segment, got a couple of cases, real cases, and you know, a couple of different things going on. But we're gonna focus on one thing. First off, I did want to say, I guess to say shout out to Michael Williams in the sense that I mean, if he actually did pull the trigger on the gun and stuff, just learn from it. Hopefully, it actually really was self-defense. Penny had your back, so you got a second chance. Actually, take your second chance and run with it, right? A lot of people don't get second chances. And as a black man, I am sibling to you and hoping that you take the second chance and run with it and have a good career. As for Von Miller, just hope for the best. This rape charge, crazy. But we're gonna focus on Josh Giddey, and you know, Scout, you can introduce.
Yeah, so what we want to talk about as we, keep it real on this particular podcast is we definitely want to talk about the inconsistency when it comes to the attention that athletes get when they get in some form of legal trouble or they do something where it leads to, them not being on the right path. So talking about Josh Giddey, of course, has been in recent news because it seems as if, I don't want to put anything on him that's not come to fruition as of yet, but it seems as if he has relationships with a young lady that is literally that. She is young and she seems as if she's underage. And so I want to talk about the lack of awareness or the lack of conversation that has come with that particular situation. But then we talk about, and we've seen all the conversation, all the blowback, all the attention that John Morant got when it comes to him and the things that he did, right? Thinking about what John Morant has done, to my knowledge, John Morant actually has not broken the law.
No, he is not.
I don't think he's broken the law.
No.
And so if you think about all the names that he's been called, all the blowback that he's gotten to get a 25-game suspension for not, again, breaking the law. Now, granted, I'm not absolving John Morant of anything that he's done, and he should definitely learn from his situation, and he should become a better person. He should, whatever he has going on within himself, get that corrected. But John Morant, to my knowledge, again, has not broken a law, and he's gotten 25 game suspension. But Josh Giddey, who I think we talked about it before this podcast, has only been disciplined by his team, not by the league. Actually, I don't remember what
he hasn't been disciplined.
He hasn't been disciplined by the team yet. He's not been disciplined at all for literally doing something that he should not be doing. I don't want to speak too much into if he's breaking a law or not, but he's doing something that's almost as if it's against the law. It's other people in this world that have had relationships with. They have been of an age, and the person they are having relationships with or relations with has not been of age. So I definitely want to talk about. Maybe we can start with Took. But why do you believe there's such a discrepancy in the attention that Black athletes get versus white athletes get when they are breaking the law, when they're doing things that they're not supposed to be doing? And then we can go from Took, Sharky, then Trevor, then me.
Trying to figure out how I want to answer this, bro. Because it seemed like from it, even what Ron said, make sure y'all use allegedly so you don't get sued. Y'all scared? You know what I'm saying? Like, are y'all scared? Are y'all scared to be pressured by, people that may or may not have it, to fight? Let's say for example, like with the whole Ja Morant situation, and it's two different situations. For one, Ja Morant did antagonize the league, and this was his second chance to do right. And that's, with the second time he got caught with the gun, which probably won the gun. Yeah. That's what he was still antagonizing the NBA. So of course, Adam Silver had to do something. But when you talk about this girl in this age of social media, is what I want people to understand. People saw the photo, and instantly in this day and age of Twitter, we can find a girl in a Thanos snap. So how do y'all not know how old or unold or young, excuse me, this girl is? Come on, y'all. So the fact that he's still able to play is bullshit. The fact that we go through things and they go through things, but we're the ones that always end up looking like the idiots when we can do the exact same thing and people still gonna like. It's the old saying that I've heard for years. It's like a white guy and a black guy in a car. Both of them got weed in their pocket. Which to jail? I mean, everybody watching this, everybody listening to this can 9 times out of 10 tell you which one is gonna go to jail. So I don't know, bro. It's quote unquote systemic. It's non-systemic. It's within us. It's not within us. I honestly don't know what to say, but I will say that Josh Giddey should not be on a basketball court. They know how old this girl is. Andrew Bogut came out and said, "Hey, Josh Giddey, you a nasty dude. I know about you." And anybody trying to make a reference to Andrew Bogut, top Australian player to ever come out of Australia, and Josh Giddey making a name for himself. Andrew Bogut knows. So we need to listen to the people that know. And the fact that we got to look at who is it to criticize Malika Andrews, the football player?
Des Bryant.
Yeah. Des Bryant. My fault, Des. The fact that everybody hopping on Des Bryant for getting on Malika Andrews for not talking about this situation, you should be. Y'all scared to get sued for what? Y'all know, bro. Ain't no way in hell we should be talking about it. We know the girl age. We should know the girl age by now. NBA, what are y'all gonna do? And it's looking like they ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, even though they're being investigated. What do you investigate? Is my question. How long is this investigation supposed to last? Because it don't take too much to realize, Josh Giddey, you're 21 years old. Did you or did you not have relations with a 16-year-old? Simple as that. So either A, they knew about it, or B, they knew about it and don't give a damn. Simple as that.
Man, Took, you dropped some gems right there.
That's time.
That's right. Because
it's simple. It's simple, bro. It's just simple.
Because even to your point, and I'm thinking like the arguments I've seen, it was Oklahoma, or let's say she could be cat. We don't know, she could be catfishing or stuff. She could be fake on social media, whatever. But I've seen folks, talking about like, oh, Oklahoma, you can date. The age range is different, right? Well, in the state of Tennessee, carrying guns legal too, and Ja Morant got to spend 25 games, right? So, so it goes back to that point. Like he got a ton of energy that Josh Giddey isn't getting right now.
And not to cut you off, but I'm thinking like we praise in Memphis, we praise Elvis Presley. Niggas don't realize that he married his wife at 14.
Who is we?
Like,
you speak French now? Who is we?
Like, come on, man.
Man, we need the Uncle Phil joint up right now. We.
It's like, come on, man. I guess it's so common with what happened over there that it ain't a big deal.
Right. And let's say he got countless examples. R. Kelly's in jail now for stuff he did. Yeah, but the answer to Skyler's question, I mean, the answer is of course obvious, white versus black, right? Even going back to Deshaun Watson and his everything that went down with him, and just black athletes going to get a lot more attention, right? My whole thing comes to, and Took, you about to get into that, so I ain't gonna lean all the way into that next question you're gonna have with the NBA, but with the teams, I commend the Grizzlies for when that stuff with Ja Morant happened. And of course, Ja Morant's situation goes deeper. You had the fight that happened last summer that he just got suspended for court. Stuff that's still going on, civil case with that. The laser pointed in. He had plenty of incidents led up to that point. The first incident, and they were on the road, and the Grizzlies said, "All right, we sending you away." Right? I don't know if they quote unquote technically suspended him, but you sent him away from the team, right? Yeah. The second time he got incident, they suspended him. They said, "All right, we give you a definite suspension," or whatever they did to put a hold on it while the NBA complete the investigation. They do have to do an investigation for the simple fact of you got to really do find out the girl's real age, the legalities behind it, all that stuff. Same thing with the Ja Morant incident. In Denver, they had to find out that he carried a gun on the team plane and different things like that. The second incident, I don't know what they investigated. I guess the investigator was their real gun tonight, but maybe investigation. I don't know how deep this investigation goes, but I'm putting the blame and pressure more on Oklahoma City's organization. To me, they should have stepped up and sat him down. And that's what the Grizzlies did, because Ja Morant didn't get suspended until like a week or two later. And technically, Ja Morant could have still played after their first gun incident. Because the NBA took back, I think he missed 6 games, and when they gave him that game suspension, they added those 6 games into it. So Oklahoma City that's what, in my opinion, that's what they could have did, just to do something to it. Because he might not even get in trouble, right? This might just all get blown away. More than likely, that's how I feel is what's actually going to happen. But I really feel like Oklahoma City should have made a statement and did something. So I put the blame more on them right now, at least in the interim. But we're going to get to the big discussion about the NBA in a second.
Okay. Because I was definitely about to go off, but as far as the NBA is concerned, because I definitely have a conspiracy theory regarding the NBA on that whole.
Too.
Yeah. So I mean, you'll be the first one to answer, but I just want to get y'all thoughts on whether or not, because like the situations with Ja and Josh are different, but the reason we bring up Ja Morant for everybody listening is because we're from Memphis. We literally saw from day one to day whatever it is now, the situation happening, and how the NBA allowed the Grizzlies to make their decision on their player, and they do the same for every teams. But I want to ask y'all, should the NBA have all the power, or how much power should they give to teams? Because like you said, Lito, we're dealing with an actual case right now versus Ja Morant, whose legal right is to have a gun or firearm if it was that. So it's like, what are we doing here? It's backwards. So what y'all think, Trip?
Honestly and truthfully, the NBA should have some power. Like, this is something that they definitely have to step in on. But on the flip side, I feel that they're kind of being a little hesitant, because if we want to keep it a buck, where everything went down with Ja, who was the next hot young team that everybody was preaching on and everybody was talking about? The Oklahoma City Thunder. Now this situation with Josh Giddey comes out, which is actually an actual case, and now the NBA doesn't want to step in, which they should, because now Not only do they have to step in, they now got to backtrack on this whole campaign that they was rolling out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And guess who they got to go back to? The Memphis Grizzlies, who the NBA already has a problem with from the get-go. Because punishing if you want to keep it a buck, punishing Ja Morant, it wasn't about Ja Morant. It was more so about the Memphis Grizzlies, if we want to just keep it a buck. And you see how everything is going on with things trying to change at the forum and things of that nature when Memphis is just continue to be who they were, who we are, what got us to where we got to in the first place. So that Ja Morant redemption tour finna turn into an NBA apology tour real soon. So I think
the playoffs for it to work though.
Yeah, that's true. They got to make the playoffs. Which honestly and truthfully,
look at my tweet.
It's
look
not
at my
even
tweet from the other day. Look at my tweet from the other day.
I saw your tweet.
I'm just saying, like, looking out west, it ain't that far fetched. Because like, if you want to keep it a buck, it's Denver and everybody else out west, so it's a possibility. But yeah, I think the NBA should have some power. I don't think they should be like judge, jury, and executioner, kind of like how the NFL is. But I think in some point the NBA could have stepped in and issued Josh Giddey a suspension. Like, there is no way in hell that with this case going on, Josh Giddey should still be playing games for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, that's something the NBA should have done. They shouldn't have let that to Oklahoma City. That should have just been right out the gate. As soon as the case come out, all right, you're suspended until the investigation is concluded. And once your name is cleared, then you can return to playing. So to answer your question, they should have some power. I don't think they should be judge, jury, and executioner. But in a situation like this, you got to throw the hammer down. Like, you just got to say, okay, see, Josh Giddey ain't playing until this investigation is done. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think it should. Oh, go ahead, Sharp.
Oh, my bad. I was saying I agree with that. And piggybacking my point, I was trying to get to the NBA because I'm the 2-point ask that question. But I wholeheartedly agree with that. Because I believe if the Grizzlies didn't do nothing, the NBA would already suspended Ja initially during their first incident anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it should be on the team to hand out and or dish the punishment of said player when X, Y, and Z does happen. But I feel like the reason why there's so much back and forth, the reason why players can feel as if, or they feel like they can do whatever they want and not reap any repercussions from it, is because there's no laws, or not laws, but there's nothing written, or there's not much written in contracts, in the CBA, in negotiations that says when you do X, Y, and Z, this is the result that's going to happen from it. And so because there's no accountability that's associated with it, that's why there's so much that's why there's so much gray when it comes to these type of situations. I believe the whole reason why, and this is to kind of what Trevor said, I believe the reason why Ja got 25 games is not necessarily because of the team that he played for. It's more so because his name was Ja Morant. Ja Morant has started to become one of the faces of the NBA. He has started to become one of those. He has started to become a household name. Everybody knew Ja. Everybody had seen Ja on highlight tapes coming out of college. He's putting people on posters. He's grabbing blocks off the backboard. He's literally a highlight reel. He's literally like a highlight guy. And because his name is also not Josh Giddey means what to the NBA? You can, no offense, but you can find another white guy randomly that can put up a few buckets that can average 15, 16 points a game. You can't find too many people like Ja Morant. And so I feel like because they started to feel as if he was starting to tarnish the brand, and this is NBA and NFL, when they feel as if you're starting to tarnish the brand, look at Washington. When you start to put a bad name or a bad rep on that league, now I got to punish you. If you're dating somebody that's not of age, yet that doesn't make my league look bad, but I can overcome that, right? But when I constantly see on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, this guy that is randomly flashing guns, he ain't maybe shooting it at people. People are going to more so remember that for whatever reason, granted, maybe legal or not legal, legal or illegal, they're going to remember that over versus this random white guy who plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder who's dating this girl that's 15, 16 years old. I really feel like that's what it is. So it's definitely a systemic issue. It's an issue that they have not addressed within the contracts of these players. They have not said what you can and cannot do. And if you do X, Y, and Z, then this is what's going to be upheld from you. So I feel like they definitely got to get to a point where they say these are things that if you do this, then X player, you're going to get 15 games, 10 games, whatever the case may be. But we're seeing way too many cases with domestic violence, with players dating underage girls and not seeing any benefit or any repercussions that come from that versus the guy with a gun in an Instagram video and him getting 25 games. They've got to be able to determine what's right and what's not right for the league and then be able to dish out punishment from there.
Man, Lito, that was like Ryan said, bro. Y'all make great points. That was, hey, I love that one. That was fun, bro.
Yeah, that was great.
That was some good stuff, man. Yeah, great dialogue right there.
I do got one more quick thing, real quick. Should it matter if? Well, let me think of this real quick. Should it matter if he got caught while in the relationship, or this is something that happened and they finally got wind of? Y'all get the question? Like, should it matter? Because if this was something, let's say this was something that was currently happening and now they posted videos and niggas just found it out and asked about it, should it matter there versus it happened a year ago and now videos and things are resurfacing?
Well, let me go back to, and like I said, and that's the other thing, all these instances are different, right? This is something we never seen before. The stuff with y'all is something you never seen before, right? Each thing is different. Ray Rice video of him hitting his wife, or that was fiance, it was his fiance at the time that this stuff happened. That was an old video from like a year or two ago, 3 years. That was a while back, and you saw he never played another game in the NFL. So yeah, I think you should judge it the same way. I saw it in a black man, Ray Rice. I saw it happen with him. So I lean towards yes.
Yeah, no, same. Yes, to exactly what Shark just said. Regardless if you did it 6 months ago or if you did it 6 days ago or 6 hours ago, the fact that you did it, I feel like does not give any absolve from what you did. I feel like at the end of the day, if you broke a law, just as we are held accountable for that, whether we did something 6 months ago or 6 hours ago, if we broke the law, you broke the law. It shouldn't be a de facto of, well, Took only did it a year ago and we're just not finding out about it. So because he's not in their relationship with that girl anymore, then it doesn't matter. Like, no, bro. Like, if you did it, you did it. That's how I feel about it. And I get it, bro. It's different when it's Skylar breaking a law versus John Morant breaking a law. It's different when Trevor's breaking a law versus Josh Giddey's breaking a law. Like, we hold people to different standards, but I feel like we as a society I feel like we should get to a place where we hold everybody the same. We hold everybody accountable the same across the board. And until we do that, we'll have instances like this where you say, yeah, it's John Moran. He flashing gun. I'm going to give him 25 games, but because it's Josh Giddey, who plays for the Thunder in a random ass city in the country, then regardless, based off what he did, it's irrelevant. Like that's not fair. It's really not fair at all. But there's no fairness in America anyway, so then that's irrelevant too.
We hold athletes and people in pop culture to a higher standard than we do on elected officials, but that's a whole different tangent that I'm not gonna go down. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's a whole other ballpark. But yeah, great. Great dialogue, fellas. Real quick before we end out, anybody got a would you rather, your board, drawing out anything?
I actually do.
Yeah, let's get some positivity here. Let's go to
positivity. Speaking of positivity, y'all see my name, KD for MVP. So, me and my brother Yoski, shout out to Yoski, was talking basketball yesterday, and I just happened to look at Kevin Durant's numbers. Right, my guy is averaging 31 points a game, 49% field goal. I'm sorry, 49% from three. He's hitting almost half his threes, y'all. But I do say that to say this. So let's say, Lito, of course, you got a daughter. In the future, we all have sons. you want them to watch a particular basketball player and help them and hone their skills. You know, I'm finna go with this. Would you rather them watch a video of Kevin Durant or a video of LeBron James? I will answer first because I was watching Gilbert Arenas podcast as well, brought it to me, and he broke down the levels of scoring there are, right? There, you know, the 3-level scores, I say it's 5 with Gilbert Arenas because you got those 3, the inside, mid-range, and a 3-pointer, but you also got post-game, which is a whole nother mindset, and you got isolation, period. So 5 levels of play. When you talk about those 5 levels of scoring, Kevin Durant, to me, is at least a 9 of them in everything. When you talk about LeBron, let's talk about it. And if you want to add free throws, there's 6 levels of scoring.
Man,
so if I got a son,
stop it. It is 3 levels of scoring. It is inside, mid range, and outside. You can call an isolation from any one of those parts of the floor. Come on now, it is only 3 levels.
I mean, who your son watching then?
My son is watching neither, actually. So
wait, we got two.
Right, come on now.
That was a simple question.
I have the power of YouTube at my disposal. There's a lot of old school clips from the 2000s that I can put my son on. I can put Mike on. I can put MV on. I can put Tracy on. I can put Melo on. Like I'm just gonna keep it honest. Like now, if my son just so magically grow to 7 feet and he decides he wants to be a 7'2" guard like Kevin Durant, then yes, I'll put KD on. But if I have better choices before those two, I'm just gonna go neither.
Skylar and Sharky. I'm going to, for the sake of the question, I'm going to show my son or daughter clips of LeBron James. My goodness gracious. I can't believe we're sitting here doing this. I understand Kevin Durant's greatness, and I understand that he can score 18 different areas of the court based off what Took just said, even though there's only like 3. But what I appreciate about LeBron James for most of his career is his ability to know where everything is and where everybody should be on the floor. And granted, I understand that Kevin Durant can score in every facet of the game. And I honestly believe that Kevin Durant can probably average 40 if he wanted to. But because he does not shoot the ball a little bit more than I would like for him to be, he does not shoot the ball at the rate that I would like him to do. He's averaging 33, which is great, which is actually really good. But LeBron has a different level of understanding for the game that I'm not sure if many people that has come across the league has. And so if I want my son or daughter to really understand the game, to also, again, be able to score at most of the levels, but then also know how to rebound, know how to get players involved, and things like that, I would rather show tape of LeBron James.
Sorry to get off topic real quick, but this Eagles 49ers game getting real spicy over here. These folks do not like each other, bro. So
okay, I know what I'm doing once we're done here. I'm tuning in.
Oh boy, this show is getting spicy. But
my wife out here going crazy.
Getting real spicy, bro. But I'm gonna say, KD. Because what Ryan just said, I'm not gonna show my son highlights of LeBron James bulldoze people like Derrick Henry. You can't teach what LeBron can do. I'm sorry, and LeBron has a great. He has a good genetics. Yeah, he has a good basketball IQ. KD, you can't teach 7 feet, but you can teach the skills that you can do, and even as a shorter person. Like you can teach those skills, at least some of them. Probably not if you're 6 feet, you can't teach the post. You can post smaller people, shorter than you, but you can't be posting. 6'5" dude, you 6 feet now, but you got a better chance of teaching your son those skills than LeBron. But LeBron, and go back to Scott's point, LeBron there's no slight against LeBron. He is he's one of the top, if not. He's
probably one of the top basketball minds
that
has ever played the game. So that, like, if you want to learn from somebody, but as far as like watching, that's all genetics, man. Plus, I'm sorry, there's just too much. You got better options at disposal. And I ain't even mentioned Kobe, the late Kobe Bryant. Like that's another person you could definitely put on.
If I wanted to bring up Kobe, I'd say Kobe, but it was just either or. God damn, I could have brought up Mike. I could have brought up Dr. J. I could have brought up.
We're not gonna go all the way back. I think we can go from the 90s on.
I could have brought up John Stockton, how to rip a nigga, since he averaging he got the most steals in NBA history.
Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill.
Skylar Clay, looking at could have shown videos of Skylar Clay.
Nate Robinson.
We get the trolls.
Nate Robinson. I get it.
Let's reel it in. We trolling.
Nah, you trolling.
How am I trolling?
Nah, Scott is saying himself, bro. Nah. Real quick, I don't know. Should this really be what you rather? But Ryan asked, would you rather Prime Cam Newton or Prime Jalen Hurts? Should we just wait until Jalen Hurts' career is over?
That's a good one.
Damn.
Let me see a couple more years of Jalen.
I need a couple more years of Jalen Hurts though.
I don't.
Let me wait on that one. Right now, right now, it's very moment be Cam because I see him win the MVP. So
you give Cam Newton half the weapons Jalen Hurts has had his career. Cam Newton is in a different stratosphere.
That's a good point.
That I do agree with 100%.
Okay, I feel like I was scrolling through Twitter. This may have been like 2 or 3 days ago, and it was, I swear, it was like a 2-minute clip of Cam Newton throwing passes, and they were all drops from like when he was at Carolina. And I was like,
throwing it to Ted Ginn Jr. That's what
Ted Ginn.
God damn.
Throwing it to Ted Ginn Jr. That's
Billy Brown.
I know the clip Scott was talking about. These were all straight to Ted Ginn Jr. and they were nothing but drops. I was like, golly.
And that was our best quote unquote receiver our Super Bowl year. Like, come on, man.
I went to the game.
No, I think I'm to which I said, Cam Newton's an MVP. Jalen Hurts got an MVP. Now, granted, he could potentially win it this year. But I saw Cam Newton winning the MVP, and Took brought up a good point. Like the talent that Jalen Hurts has and the coaching that comes with it. You give that to Cam Newton. How many times at that point, Cam probably got a Super Bowl.
He won the best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah. Oh, for me, it's Cam Newton for me. I got to see more from Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Shout out to
all right. That was fun, man. Good time. First time out here in a while. Of course, the end of the year is coming up. I'll let y'all know how the schedule go the rest of the year. You know, it's winding down, but as always, y'all know, support us, Let's Be Real Sports, and the other podcasts on the Let's Be Real Media Network. Through the Hardaway podcast. No, they've been on hiatus a little bit with Savage and the Baby and Giddey being out. Salute to those guys, and hopefully everything.
We wonder Hardaway in a minute.
Away. It'd be like the Jeans Support Part 2 over there. Shout out to Jeans. Shout out to Jeans over there. LBR Gaming, Trevor LBR on YouTube as well. You know, you can follow us on Twix, TikTok, IG, Facebook. As I was still trying to get some clips out. I might try and do like a graphic of our Super Bowl contender picks, kind of like what Savage used to do for us about a couple years ago. We might have that, and we just like keep tabs on it for the rest of the year. Of course, information would change as always, but subscribe and watch on YouTube at Let's Be Real Media. Subscribe if you really prefer to listen to us on audio, Spotify, Apple, anywhere. Let's Be Real Sports. Also, support us. Sign up for our sponsor at SeatGeek. Get you some money off some tickets, concerts, games, anything you want by using the code LBR Media checkouts. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter. I am more active on Instagram now, so Twitter or IG at DaWayne_P Shark.
It's still at _Scott Leader on X or whatever y'all like to call it.
Yeah, I'm at the Art of Trevor on Twix. Still is a preposition, so you know what not to do with it, but you know what is. Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. So happy holidays. Get your Jack Daniels Winter Jack if you partake in that. Happy holidays, fellas.
Friday After Next is one of the best Christmas movies. We put the best in front of that. I ain't trying to hear nothing else. At Tab Shakir, appreciate y'all. KD for MVP. And no means no. Stay away from these youngins.
If she say no, you gotta go.
Got to go.
And not even if they're youngins. Even if your
relationship
with
that's period.
No, for real, sir.
You're
If she says no, regardless of age, the answer is no.
Facts. That's it.
Man, I wish I had that audio clip from Side Talk on YouTube.
San Francisco going crazy, bro.
I know. And Fallout 5th member, Giddey. It's really Giddey. Until next time.
Man.
Peace.